Hello, people of the internet. I wanted to jump on really quick because there's been something on my mental these last few days. I'm sure I'm not the only one in regards to the George Floyd incident, and just my frustration as a community member in this world that we live in with regards as to how things are handled in our systems. You know, I was sitting here kind of tearing up thinking about it, and guys, it's 2020 and we still have to protest and riot for our rights to be seen as people, for minorities to be seen as people. It's 2020. We still have to fight for this. Like, when people ask me why I'm so passionate about what I do or why I don't slow down, I'm a 20-year-old business owner who chooses to represent Latin American women, and this is why. Because we are seen as nothing. We are just passed off as nothing, and it's not okay. All these riots coming out, mourning the death of somebody in our community, and we have a president who calls us thugs instead of empathizing with the community who's lost one of their own. This is why I feel not only the need, but it is something I have to do day in and day out because of shit like this. It's ridiculous. America was never great. But, you know, I was listening to Alicia Keys' her article earlier today, and it was talking about we will need to be the change we want to see in the world. And I truly think that our youth, our future, they're going to be the ones who make this. Because as you see, we're not standing for it. It's not okay. We're tired. We're tired of having to fight to not only be equal, but to just be seen as something. And I promise you, this world of ours in 10 years, you can see the changes that we're going to be doing. Because when we're small, there's nothing that we won't achieve, because I promise we will come together. And we're going to say it nicely. We're going to motherfucking riot. That's all I have to say for now. Disappointed.
They're paying attention. It came to their front door. They couldn't hide from it no more. So it was a sad case that happened, but look what the fuck it did for all of us, man. So I was gonna start with a song to introduce myself, but fuck that. We gonna get right into it. The reason why we're here. Hey, yo, Marley, kick that shit for me.
Trying times all the time. Destruction of minds, bodies, and human rights. Stripped of bloodlines, whipped and confined. This is the American pride. It's justifying a genocide, romanticizing the theft and bloodshed that made America the land of the free. To take a black life, land of the free, to bring a gun to a peaceful fight for civil rights. You are desensitized to pulling triggers on innocent lives because that's how we got here in the first place. These wounds sink deeper than the bullet your entitled hands could ever reach. Generations and generations of pain, fear, and anxiety. Equality is walking without intuition, saying the protector and the killer is wearing the same uniform. The revolution is not televised. Media perception is forced down the throats of closed minds, so it's lies in the headlines and generations of supremacy resulting in your ignorant, privileged eyes. We breathe the same and we bleed the same, but still we don't see the same. Be thankful we are God-fearing because we do not seek revenge. We seek justice. We are past fear. We are fed up eating your shit because you think your so-called black friend validates your wokeness and erases your racism. That kind of uncomfortable conversation is too hard for your trust fund pockets to swallow. To swallow the strange fruit hanging from my family tree because of your audacity to say all men are created equal in the eyes of God, but disparage a man based on the color of his skin. Do not say you do not see color. When you see us, see us. We can't breathe.
You don't know what you don't know, and that's a fair exchange. On Angie told me eat your weed, that you could be a champ. Then I went and stole that GT so I could hit that ramp. With the mad wheels, mama on my ass still. Let these teachers call my house again and it's gonna end real. You pop not around, you wish you could call him up. Forgave him for everything, now I call him up. Not for him, but for my sake. Now I'm breathing through this music and the beat my heart rate, hands up, too soft, even if I could. I don't think God. Take the bad with the good, hey, hey, hey. Don't you ever pull up a seat and grab a plate, grab a plate. I don't think I would. I don't think I. Take the bad with the good, take the bad with the good. Even if you can't, don't you ever say can't. Don't you ever pull up a seat and grab a plate. Come here, let's get that clear. Teach my sons at a young age that life ain't fair. But I'm good in that mirror. I'm black and I'm blessed. I give you the ruler and let you message success. And raised with some manners. Addicted to more. Window shopping my favorite to see what life has in store. But I'm cut from that raw. Emulate what I saw. Got no love for these bras. It only food for my dogs. And they prey on your sympathy. You we be the remedy. Make sure your ass is stingy when they come to your energy. You work like a steady. You don't be late to that interview. A killer told me never tell him what you about to do. I miss him, Missy and Papa. Shit, Bobby came up. I needed food for my daughter. Couple cheese and some dough. Groceries from the store. Baby mama hated me, thought she would leave me for sure. Bring the chorus, hands up. Even if I could, even if I don't think I would. I don't think I. Take the bad with the good. You take the bad with the good. If you can't, don't you ever say can't. Don't you ever. Proceed and grab a plate. Now grab a plate, grab a plate. If I could, I don't think I would. I don't think I. Take the bad with the good. Take the bad with the good. If you can't, don't you ever say can't. Don't you ever. Proceed and grab a plate. Hey, how y'all feeling out here? So let me see how y'all really fly. When I say black lives, y'all say matter. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. Ooh. Y'all want to turn up a little bit?
Sometimes you just can't believe the things your eyes see. So much injustice in this life, and it's happening right on your TV screen. So you drop to your knees and you're praying, cause you can hear him saying he can't breathe. And it's all so overwhelming, because you know there's nothing you can do to help him. Continue to breathe, continue to breathe. In times like these, that's what your heart is for. Trying to take someone's power away.
So I've been sitting in my car, kind of at a loss for words. Sitting thinking about what I wanted to say. I'm sitting here just at a loss for words. a little over 2 weeks ago, I went on a rant about the George Floyd incident and how disappointed I was in America, and for the system, just letting this continue to happen. Fast forward 2 weeks, as many of you have probably seen on other news outlets and such, there has been a outbreak of riots and protests and people standing up for what they believe. You know, they started complaining, saying that we were looting things, that we were breaking things when we were protesting, and as probably a lot of videos have revealed, these policemen, they instigate some things. So fast forward 2 weeks, George Floyd's murderers have been arrested. One of them is out on bail. He posted $1 million bail, and I can continue to see these things just so vicious and so mean pop up on my Facebook, and I'm at a loss for words. Like, I truly do not understand it. I don't understand how some of you guys could be so heartless, so disrespectful to somebody's life. I can't even fathom, like, what is possibly going up in your guys' brains. Like, I've sat through many protests and heard many speeches in the last few weeks, and some of them just really hit me hard. There was quite a few children out at protests. There was quite a few children out speaking. And yes, some people would call it aspiring, or wow, look at this child doing something so great and so big for their age. And guys, I'm disappointed. We've taken away somebody's child's innocence. They are fighting because they need to be seen as people, and it's not okay. It's not okay for a child to have to fight for these kinds of things. I know I read a poster the other day, and it said something along the lines of, if my son went to buy Skittles and didn't return, if my son went for a jog and didn't return, if my son went out to sell cigarettes on the corner and didn't return, if my son went to the store and then was resisting arrest and his last words were to call out to me, guys, I'd fucking burn the town down too. Burn it all. Everybody's surprised by these people being upset, people being so angry, and I just don't understand how you couldn't be. You know, I was walking home, and we've moved to a different side of town, and there's these people on the corner just rallying for Trump, and I don't understand how anybody could ever support somebody so nasty, so cruel, so mean, somebody so vicious. And I'm at all. I am at a loss for words. I don't understand it. Another argument that was brought that just kind of blew me back, because I don't understand it, to be quite honest with you, was these things I keep hearing at these rallies, these speakers, and not to dismay them, but they said something along the lines like, you wouldn't have rap, you wouldn't have art, you wouldn't have poetry, you wouldn't have house music, you wouldn't have pride rights if it wasn't for Black people. And yes, that is all true, and not to discredit you guys from all the great stuff that you do, but that should not be the reason why we shouldn't kill Black people. They are people, like, period. There shouldn't have to be excuses about all the greatness that they bring into the world, and that's why we shouldn't kill them. Like, no person should have to credit themselves for their lives. Nobody. I'm disappointed, and more and disappointed in this vicious America that all of this has brought out. But what I'm most disappointed about is that I'm not even surprised. Wake up, America.
Juntos somos más fuertes. Liberarla was created for the next platform of the women's rights movement with the goal to not only liberate the women in America, but to liberate the women around the world. Chica, juntos somos más fuertes y solamente juntos vamos a poder liberarla.